Looks like Facebook is loaded. Hopefully the tube loads momentarily, and we'll get this show on the road. Looks like everything's starting up. All right, and we are live. Hey, everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, just sitting here. Thought I would do a current events and a Q&A for you people. Had a fantastic workout, by the way. Got multiple PRs on accessory work. Even my back off bench work was up. I got a pull-up PR. I got a tricep extension PR. So I'm hoping my bench starts doing really, really good this next week. Hopefully that's the case. But let's talk about this whole Jammie Booker situation. Like, I've been hammering it on Facebook. And yeah, I'm getting thousands and thousands of engagements on those posts. I've hit several big controversial events, and some of the other stuff is getting thousands of engagements. But that one's been pretty big because I've made multiple posts on it. Even Big Zeke chimed in on my post. So, the thing is, and I didn't see anyone else post this on social media. I hit it yesterday that Ken Paxton here in Texas is jumping into this, right? I just made a post about Riley Gaines talking about it. She's an American activist and did a bunch of stuff in this area regarding women's sports because she was, a collegiate swimmer. But yeah, Texas-based attorney general. So Ken Paxton is opening a formal investigation, and some people are even saying, well, no, it looks like it's not against the law. Well, not technically under the law that we passed here, but he's going to dig into the technicalities, it looks like, and make sure that it isn't. But I think the reason this is going to be a big deal is because the legislation was passed, like sweeping legislation a few years ago here in Texas. Like it had a massive support in the Texas legislature. The governor signed it, and by and large, the Texas voters were in favor of it. And it was an absolute ban of trans athletes in high school and college sports in the state of Texas. So and it was a complete legal ban, like enforced by our laws here. So because this took place in Texas, he's going to dig into it. They're going to double check into the laws. He's going to conduct a formal investigation. But it's not even just about the current laws. It's because if this has happened here and it's a big deal, this may go before the policymakers again, and it may go up for a vote of, do they need to expand it? Do they need to find a way to expand it into other sports? Outside of student level and universities, colleges, high schools, things like that. And they may end up doing that because it was definitely a problem here. They absolutely did not want men stealing girls' scholarships. Okay, they don't want boys stealing scholarships from girls. And it was quite well received here and supported. So again, the voters here pushed it, the legislature pushed it, and it went through pretty smoothly. What's going on, Matt? So because of that, and because this event happened in Texas, it's sparking a big controversy here politically of people are asking the questions of, all right, do we need to expand this to these other amateur sports, professional sports? Do we need to take this a tier further? Because we've already made this illegal for students. We made it illegal at college level, high school level. So do we need to start expanding this? Right? Gian, no, actually, I've been getting enormous amounts of hits lately. So you're over here on Facebook. You're like, it wasn't a shadow ban per se. There was one that I did do something that killed my algo, but it's been coming back up actually recently with all the new content I've done. I've been getting, I got like 7 million views. I got 7 million views on Facebook this month, Gian. So it's picking up. Like I've had by far the largest financial month. I'm about to hit a big actual cash bonus they threw me for creator content monetization. Should hit that mark on it tonight, if not early tomorrow. So it's the biggest bonus they've thrown me when they gave me a task for it, and it looks like I'm about to pass it. So yeah, it's flowing along. So they're giving me a cash bonus, and they boosted my money for next month. They gave me a memo that because my outreach increase, they're giving me a flat increase in my money for December. So actually, Facebook is doing really well, Brother G, and I appreciate your concern there. But my Facebook is actually picking up rapidly. My traffic has increased fivefold this month, and it's all been in the last 2 weeks. And I've kind of figured out how to hit their algo again. I've cracked it. I cracked their algorithm once before, and for a little bit, my channel was making between 5,000 and 20,000 a month. Like I had several months in a row where I made a minimum of $5,000 on Facebook, like every month. So, I mean, and I feel like I'm starting to push back to fix that. So we're going to be good, brother. It's all good. That's why we're double streaming here, man. But yeah, no. So, I mean, I've been hitting a lot more controversies because I haven't been reserved. I'm willing to jump into hard topics and controversies, and I'm hammering them down every single day. It's kicking that up, and then some of my other stuff is doing good. Like, dude, one of my workout pictures the other day made like $17 just for a snapshot of my training. Just a snapshot of my training made $17. So I'm going to keep pushing all of it. So Facebook's picking up big time, guys. But yeah, I've been hitting this Jammie Booker thing really hard. I've been hitting Andrew Tate pretty hard. I've been hitting a few other things pretty hard. So they're kind of flowing, dude. Hey, Jacob, I'm not going to discuss that at all. Can we move on from that topic, please? But Felix, what's up, Coach? How you doing? We're doing good, man. I'm doing really good. Like I've had, gosh, I mean, everything is kind of picking up. No, I mean, it's fine. YouTube has been a little slow this last week, but it doesn't matter because my Facebook has exploded. Like I've still had, this has been my best financial month of the entire year so far, just across the board. Even if I don't make another penny the next few days, I've already hit a record month for the year. So, I mean, it's all good, man. It'll pick up in here. It's all good though, guys. It's all good, brother. But you tell them to hit that like button, Tyrone. Oh, for those not aware, I'm double streaming, so I'm on Facebook and the tubes concurrently. So I'm streaming on both platforms. We're double dipping. Get that double ad revenue. Get that double viewership. Got my software set to stream both. I just can't merge the comments, so people in each one can't read what the other people are saying. But yeah, no, and I had really good workout today. PR all morning long. So I cut the carbs down. I'm looking leaner, and then all of a sudden I'm getting stronger. I don't know what to make about that. I don't want to draw any correlations between my diet and that though, unless somehow all the unsaturated fats are making me recover. It's possible, but I don't want to make that assumption. But I mean, dude, the lifts were really good today. I mean, I PR'd like 4 of my exercises, like as far as my non-big lifts. But let's chat on these other things. Matt, Coach, I'm still confused about gaining muscle at maintenance. That's a lot of guys are pushing. Can you go from 175 to 185 at maintenance? Well, no, that would be a small surplus, right? That's a small surplus. Like if you gain 10 pounds, you're in a surplus objectively. You can recomp though at maintenance, Matt, but it depends on how lean you are. I mean, I'm not gaining any weight right now. I'm not in a surplus, and as my lifts are trickling on up. Felix said, good work. I'm heavy carved up from yesterday and today and getting back. Dude, after holiday feast, I tend to hit massive deadlifts. So Felix, for me personally, anytime I've eaten a bunch of candy and sweets and stuff from a holiday feast, I tend to hit really, really good deadlifts the next day. Right. So sometimes something will be a 2-rep max. I'll hit it for 4 or 5 reps. Like I've done it before on those days. But Tyrone says, hopefully we can get more views today. Yeah, they were low yesterday, but they ended up picking up over the next day, like overnight. They got more views. I saw your 315 revive fair play, Jason. That's impressive. Thank you. I mean, I only got 4 today, but I adjusted my training around it. Like I know what got me to that 315 for 5. Which again, that's the first time I've ever done that at this body weight. I mean, I've done more than that at over 220, but not under 220. Um, so it really is assessing my weak links. And quite frankly, me hitting it for 4 these last 2 workouts, I know it's just not enough tricep. I am so tricep dominant when I bench. Even when I bench super wide like I'm doing now, I am so tricep dominant that they tend to be my limit. So I know that if my triceps keep getting stronger, I'll PR again. No, I don't think the Kapows are affecting the viewership. No, that was just, I think it was Thanksgiving. I think it's just in general, the algo is a little different. But I'm not going to push lives as hard. I'm going to do my 1 live a day. I'm not going to do it super long, but I'm going to give you guys a live every day. But I mean, I'm just not going to push aggressively with the tubes because it doesn't get that much better. Yes, I had a record, the best month of the year last month on YouTube, but it didn't. It's going to be a hair under it this month unless somebody drops me $100 in super chats today or tomorrow. It's not going to be, it's not going to top last month. So I've realized for now, unless I just get stronger and look better and all my vlogs pick up, the YouTube is going to probably be slightly stagnant, and I accept that. But I'm still feel like lives and shorts are really kind of be what feeds it at the end of the day. Is what it is. But Facebook has been picking up, so it's not a big deal. So I'm just going to keep working away. But I feel like hitting the better and better lifts, those shorts and stuff get a lot of views and a lot of interaction. And I noticed the last week or so, all of my new subscribers, other because we just banned the same guy resubscribing, they're coming from the shorts. So me hitting PRs in those shorts, and I had someone else say that who has a business background, who's a big fan. I chat with every now and then. He says, honestly, man, PRs really are probably your best thing because you'll pick up for you. That's probably your best outreach is anytime you hit good lifts in a short. Facebook. Well, no, I mean, I still get most of my clients from YouTube. I would say I've only picked up this year maybe 3 clients off Facebook. And one of them bought 2 small packages and then he needed to drop out for financial reasons. So he's still not a current client. So it'll get some over time, but over time, it will tend to get better. But it's going to be the main target. But I'm still going to double dip everywhere. Like I'm still going to be here in YouTube every day, right? Like I'm not ignoring you guys. It's not like I'm going to just ignore YouTube. It's always, I think it's always going to be an important, part of my outreach. Plus, I feel like we have a good community of people who come through I feel like we have a good little community who kind of like really, really likes the live streams. I feel like we've got a good little community of a few dozen guys who swing in and out of these. And I kind of like the little community it has there, I mean, you guys all watching being part of that. I've been thinking about doing med ball tosses because you coach med ball weight. I've only owned one just at 30. I've played with some lighter ones like 15s or 20s before in the gym and done stuff. Like I used to have one of the dudes who used to go to one of my gyms. I did some training with one of my off and on training partners when I first started, and he came from a football background. We used to do med ball like teams type stuff, like where we would throw a med ball back and forth, to where like we would both sit down about a few feet apart, and he'd throw a med ball and I'd catch it and then throw it back, and we would throw like a 20 back and forth or a 15. So I've done stuff like that. But when I bought the one that I have, I just bought a 30. I bought just the heaviest one Titan had, and that's the only one I own. Right? It's the only one I own. So you may want to start a hair lighter. Keep in mind, I'm using a 30 and you see where my strength is. I do rep work in the 500s on a deadlift. So you might want to consider something a little lighter. I've done that as an exercise, but only once, right? Hold on, what's this guy's? Oops, accidentally closed the tab I didn't mean to close. Checking something on Facebook. All right. There's an ab exercise. Yeah, that does work the abs, but it also works throwing muscles too. All right. Because you're throwing a med ball back and forth seated. Yeah, it definitely works abs, but it's going to work pecs. It's going to work triceps. You know, they're just a useful tool. Jumping and throwing in general is never going to be a bad way to go if you're in the pursuit of athleticism, Jacob. You know, just general athletic ability. But for me today, I was really happy with those pull-ups, right? Because I'm over 200 pounds. I'm not some light dude. I mean, I got 10 pull-ups with a 45 today. I'll take it. My lats and my biceps were pretty lit up from that too. Yeah, I've been doing more Insta too. Yeah, Martin's on there. So, Coach, I've noticed that Martin Berkham is posting a lot more on Instagram. He's making a little comeback. Nice to see. I've always liked Martin too. You know, I always liked Martin. I always liked the mindset of some of his work. He was definitely one of the good guys. You know, definitely one of the good guys. Doesn't mean I agree with everything. The problem that I hate about this community is anytime you list someone as a good guy, people want you to have to agree with everything they say. And then if they say anything that disagrees with you, people make a big deal about it. Like it is quite frankly, and I like using this R word, it is so retarded. It shows how retarded the average content consumer is if they are literally functioning at a mentally retarded level when they can't not think in that manner. Like, you know how low of a cognitive level someone is functioning at when they cannot comprehend that people can get along and like each other's message and still have points of disagreement in their message. Like, you've talking, they cannot be over about an 85, maybe 90 IQ tops. Like, people who think that way, but they're very frustrating to deal with. All right. Sorry, my little side rant. They're very, very frustrating to deal with. Can you do one-arm pull-ups? No, and I've never tried. I don't really feel the need. Probably not. Not at over 200 pounds. But I mean, I did 10 reps today with a 45. But yeah, I don't have a desire to do one-arm ones, really. I mean, I've done some pretty heavy one-arm dumbbell rows, though. I've done rep work with 135 with just one dumbbell. But, yeah. I mean, context again on my body weight. I'm not one of these 150-pound skinny dudes, you know. Someone removed his like, tell him, get those likes up. What's going on, Blaze? Coach, you have opinions on ketamine? I don't believe in the use of recreational drugs, dude. Jacob, I'm not going to be a fan of people getting high. Mods aren't in yet. They didn't get the notifications yet. I feel like they're probably not amazing for your joints when you start off doing them, especially. Thoughts on kratom? Isn't that like some sort of fake weed or I don't know, dude? Hey, Blaze, why are you asking me about all this degenerate goofball drugs? No, the mods are around somewhere. I'm sure they'll see the memo. Dude, I don't believe in getting high. I don't think you guys grasp that. I'm not a like get high, get drunk person. I'm completely sober. So I'm not really interested in mind altering substances. You're probably not going to like my opinion on it. I don't know where Peppermint's at. If you know a way to contact him, feel free to do so, but I don't have a means of contacting him. You're good at arm wrestling. I don't know, man. I've coached some arm wrestlers, but maybe it's just not my thing. I've had a few people ask me to get into it because of all my grip training, because guys have seen me deadlift. I think my heaviest deadlift on camera without straps has been 635 with just chalk. But yeah. Now, honestly, my arms are my worst muscle group, Adam, in terms of the reference. You're seeing that because I'm sitting down, but when I stand up, you realize how small they look compared to the rest of me, dude. Right? Yeah. Yeah, out in public wearing a shirt, I get compliments on my arms, but in terms of proportion, when people see me just on camera, they don't usually think that I have big arms. I was talking about in a therapeutic context. I'm not big on drugs for therapy. But then again, that's not my area of expertise. I personally found with my own therapy, I found all psychiatric meds to be completely detrimental. I found them to do more harm than good. So therefore, I just don't believe in drugs for therapy. I'm a very pro therapy person. I had a lot of therapy when younger. I personally hold a dim view of psychiatric drugs. So when you start talking about ketamine and stuff for therapy, I'm just like, no, I'm just not interested. Yeah, Adam's over on Facebook. In person, probably to a normal person. Yeah. In real life, I get compliments. Definitely on my arms out shopping or whatever. But just on the internet, because again, I'm a strength athlete, not a bodybuilder. I don't pin my arms, any of that. Just the proportions. I get a lot of hate. Actually, the opposite of, you have small arms, you should consider training them. It's hilarious. But we did get a PR on tricep work today because I feel like for me, my bench press is being held back by my triceps a little bit. I feel like I need my triceps up just a little bit to get my bench. But I got 315 for 5 pause reps on Monday. But I want to keep working that up, especially as I close in on 50. Adam, you might be a newer father. You may not realize how old I am. I turned 49 in 2.5 weeks. About to turn 49. Yeah. Oh, any Black Friday? Yeah, I got some candles. I got here's one of my candles. Man, I grabbed a bunch of cinnamon candles. Got them getting my house smelling good. I don't know why you're asking a fitness guy about ADHD meds. This is honestly, Jacob, this is really outside of my wheelhouse. How do I put this? I don't feel comfortable giving you an opinion as a fitness professional on ADHD meds as far as your psychiatric stuff. Like I don't personally feel that I am qualified to have an opinion on that. Dude, I've had a million midlife crisis things. What you talking about? I mean, y'all seen some of the girls I've dated. I mean, in the past. All right. After my second divorce, I did date and live with an ex-stripper, if y'all recall. So the candles for recovery. Yeah, no, I like scented candles. I really like cinnamon, but that's almost something I'm almost like, look, people always see my Amazon wishes. I'm like, dude, if any of y'all want to send me scented candles off Amazon, I find them relaxing. I find scented candles relaxing. I like my house smelling like cinnamon and coffee and stuff like that. And yeah, my place is pretty tidy. Like, you guys have now seen the inside of the crib, so I keep a pretty pretty clean house. I'm not like scrub everything all the time clean, but I'm gonna mop my house once a week. We don't have a bunch of clutter. We don't have garbage. The most clutter is in my office. This is my clutter space. like right here. Just my office room. But yeah, no, I find that just for my own mental health, just keeping my place pretty tidy. Adam says, remember we had a chat. I'm friends with Christian who you trained. Oh, okay. Wait, Adam, did we do a consultation? I think we did. I think we did. You look for, oh, I recognize your face now. I had to check your profile. All right, cool, dude. Yeah, I remember I also trained Christian. How's he doing, by the way? Thank you for staying in your wheelhouse. Your own wheelhouse. I appreciate that. Hey, you're welcome, man. Toxic Ruskins will really mess you up. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, man. EJ says, "Morning, Coach. Good morning, EJ. It's afternoon here. It's about 3:38 in the PM. Yeah, get those likes up. Tell them, Tyrone. Felix says, Coach, if I hit a 315 times 7 and 315 times 8 last squat session and it moved well, last reps didn't slow down, what would you go for this week? If you were me, I'd probably bump it to 320 and work up. Especially if you're going to do some sort of double progression, because, man, you're hitting 8 reps there. I'd put at least another 5. Telling you, Tyrone, what's up with the likes? There's only 6 likes in here today. I think we just talking about it, but we're just getting prices. All right, cool. Yeah, fair enough, Adam. Adam, I do consultations. Dude, I did a lot of consultations this month, but I've done like 7 hours of consultations this month. It's been crazy. But if you want to get in for one, let me know, man. I do consultations still. And I have coaching salts open. Samity says, do you think you can train explosiveness, fast twitch muscle fibers to make a noticeable difference? You can hypertrophy them, and you can increase your speed strength a little bit, but there is an enormous genetic component. It's not entirely genetic, but genetics are going to be a very dominant factor. Yeah, no, you can train explosiveness. You can maximize your potential inside of what it is, right? But your genetic cap is still going to be there. Explosiveness is a very genetic trait, but it is trainable. It is trainable. So, but you're going to be able to maximize on what your potential is. But just be aware, people who are very, very genetically explosive, you're not going to catch them, especially if they train it, if you're not. Felix says, okay, Coach, I think I might be a little more aggressive with the weights, but we'll see. You know what, dude, you hit 315 for 7 and then 315 for 8. You had good bar speeds. I would add weight. Go up at least 5 pounds. And if you hit 8 again, then go up another 5, Get that progression, get some weight on the bar, man. Yeah, add weight. Don't be afraid to, I mean, you're getting 7, 8 reps on a big movement. Don't be afraid to start adding weight. Right? Don't be afraid to add weight at this point. Progression is your friend. Get some extra tension. Yeah, don't be afraid to go 3 to 6. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Absolutely. Don't be afraid of that at all. I mean, what did I do today? I hit 6 on Monday or Wednesday on my high bar squat, and I went up 20 pounds and did 4. Right? I went from 6 to 4. And workout apart. Yep, up those numbers, guys. Don't be afraid to put some weight on the bar. As long as your form is good and you're happy with it. Of course, everyone hates me. People were hating on my squat form again. Everyone's like, your squat form is terrible when I high bar. Like, I don't care. I lift more than you guys. I've broken state records, and I don't get hurt squatting. What's the problem? No, dude, my any of my high bar squats always look funny. They always look funny. Like there's just no way around it. They always look ridiculous, even to me. But they feel good, so who cares? Multiple state record holder, right? I broke state records in more than one class in the squat. So why are they hating? You notice the people who always say you don't ever see any of their squat footage. You don't see any of their squat footage. It's like, and I get it, man. If you're a serious lifter and you're doing better, so put up your age, your body weight, and your lifts, man. Put them up. Dudes want to stand there and talk. But the funny thing is, usually people who are really good squatters, they're not going to stand there and talk. You know what I mean? So people are funny like that. Well, Felix, you could take it up carefully. So if you're thinking of those weights, so you did 315 for 8, you could also jump 325, see how it feels. You could make 10-pound jumps every workout if you need to, because you're in those rep ranges, right? I think you'll be fine. I'll have dudes going into meets even do stuff like that, start making jumps like that. Even if they're at like that sort of rep range, we'll just start adding weight every week, 10-pound jumps every week, till they start getting down to triples. But then I know where they're at for competition, So once someone hits a weight for a triple, I know on meet day coming up, they're going to hit 10% higher. How do you personally get out of a rut, coach? I don't know, man. That's a very individual thing. I don't know what you mean by a rut, and that would involve me going into all the details of my life. So probably not going to answer that. We're all the way over to deep coaching level question, helping you get out of a rut. That's like an hour call. So, assuming ruts mean your personal life, I don't ever feel ruts in my training. So I'm assuming you're talking about in my life. I don't get in ruts in my training. Like I just adjust something. If something's static, I change something. Done. Someone's messaging me about Texas Attorney General with all this. Could you see all this stuff just now? No, it looks like they may be going after the guy for fraud. The state of Texas might be pursuing fraud against Jammie Booker. Given our laws and how we view that. Does TRT increase your sex drive noticeably? To some extent, yeah. I've never had a low sex drive. But in terms of performance, absolutely. Big difference. Right? I find for me, TRT removes the refractory period or dramatically cuts it down. So if you need to go 2 or 3 times in a row, you're good. But I've always had a high sex drive. So even when I had low testosterone, I still had a high drive and was able to have sex normally. That's me. Do you ever feel like going to a local gym to get more fans? No, Adam. And that really wouldn't give me that many fans. Like, it's not like people don't know who I would be. Yeah, that doesn't, not really a viable strategy at all. I thought Jamie was a she a few months back. Thought she was just a strong, big girl at 6'6", 400 pounds. Hey, coach, do you have client spots currently? Yeah, I have client spots open. Absolutely. Although you just made your account, so you're probably a troll. What are the traits of a good strength coach? The ability to get somebody really strong. That's the traits of a good strength coach. That's very straightforward, Blaze. I don't know anything about the personality traits out of the different strength coaches because I've seen vastly different personalities among great strength coaches. So I'm going to say that the trait of a good strength coach is the ability to consistently get people really strong. There you go, Tyrone. Plenty of slots. You need to message me on Facebook, Wasabi. Although the problem is, Wasabi, I still have to ban you by default because you have a new account. Sorry. Them's the rules. Because I just assume you're the same guy I've banned every day 20 times. So next. Kapow! We don't even give warnings on that. Yeah, Blaze, I'm going to leave that comment alone. But yeah. I was going to try to slide into Jam. It's not Jamie, it's Jammie. What do you mean she? It's not a she. MM, what do you mean there is no she? It's a he, dude. That's a dude. That's a man, baby. What are you talking about? What you mean she? What you mean she didn't respond? This person is a 6'6", 400-pound man with a penor. Yeah, he's talking about Jammie Booger. I'm not sure where you're getting this she part from. I'm a little confused. Yeah, you got like 20 minutes, right? Exactly. We're doing okay, Adam, and that's picking back up. Yeah. Jammie Booker is a man. No, Tyrone, it's not a she, dude. It's this person is trans and they do trans porn and everything. And they started competing in strongman a year ago and qualified for world's strongest woman because the federation didn't know they were a dude. Like this is a straight up dude. Like with a hang down and everything. Right? Right. Do you still have clients on the push-pull legs or most? I have a mix. Hey, Matt, I have a wide mix of that. To my knowledge, Booker hasn't had the surgery. No. But even then, you shouldn't be competing as a woman in sports. Even then. But in this case, it's my understanding they still got all they're intact. So basically a dude with a penor flopping around who's 6'6", 400 pounds walked in and competed in the world's strongest woman. No, Trump didn't get rid of that, although Texas did, and so therefore it's a legal issue that's about to come up. Why would estrogen lower T levels? Estrogen is actually anabolic too, by the way. Mildly anabolic, not as much as testosterone. So technically, if a man goes and takes a bunch of estrogen, you're going to get gyno and stuff, but you'll probably gain a small amount of muscle because of the synergy with your testosterone. No, I'm not disappointed with Trump. What do you mean, Blaze? I don't think everyone is. We don't know what their HR, Tyrone, we don't know. This person has not revealed any of their medical stuff. Your guess is as good as mine. And as Luke said, it doesn't matter if you lower T levels or whatever, there are changes that happen to it as a fetus that are permanent, like muscle fiber density. So what we need to understand is that in utero, if you have a Y chromosome, there's going to be differences at birth that are permanent. So things like your muscle fiber distribution, like you're going to have a higher muscle fiber density in your upper body. You're going to be born with that. That's not even a result of puberty. You're going to be born with differences purely from having gone through utero with the Y chromosome. You're going to have a difference in upper body muscle fiber density for the rest of your life. Yeah, so neurological differences and bone density differences, right? Yep. There's going to be lifelong differences that no amount of HRT is going to undo. Benjamin says, does doing higher reps on the bench press template stimulate the pecs more compared to doing lower reps below 8, or does Benjamin, we could make a big discussion of that. There's been at least one study that showed a slight bias. There was one study that showed that doing less than 8 reps did recruit a little more tricep and a little less pec, and vice versa on the bench. But that's subject to a lot of controversy. Do you think it's solid to pull 500 after a year off of deadlift? My doctor's order I just did at Thanksgiving in my mom's basement. I think that's fine, dude. I just saw Jammie Booker on World's Strongest Woman. Well, they were disqualified the next day. Tyrone, they were disqualified actually within 48 hours once all this came to light. All right. Bench is superior to dips. It works the chest and triceps the same. I don't know that it's superior to dips necessarily. No, they're both great exercises. Ultimately, though, what you have to remember with a lot of this stuff, the proximity to failure matters. Range of motion, proximity to failure. When you're dealing with big multi-joint movements, any muscle that works through a significant range of motion is going to see phenomenal recruitment once you start getting very close to muscle failure. Seems to be a nice person. I don't know. How are they a nice person, Tyrone? They came in and stole women's title. Is that really the behavior of a nice person? But if you say, but if they really believe they're a woman, so they're a delusional, crazy person, but they still know on some level they're stealing it. You have to keep that in mind. I don't know. And it's back to my other point, is being nice indicative of being good. This is why I don't care about being a nice person. I've said this a long time. Really, I've met a lot of really nice people who are con men. I've met really nice people who were pedophiles. I've met really nice people who were thieves. I've never seen any correlation at all between someone being nice versus being a good person. David, you lost your membership. What happened? Or is this not the real David? I have to go to the channel to see. No. It's over a month-old account. Oh, man. But yeah, Tyrone, someone being a nice person. Really? Every con man I've ever met was really, really, really nice. Now, that's not a new account, please. What did we kapow? Oh, it didn't renew. Yeah. Did you get a gifted one or did you buy your own? If you got the gifted one, they do expire after 30 days. You may have to renew it if you wanted to keep it. Check it out tomorrow and sign up. All right, cool, man. Benjamin, I like doing dips, but I'll never add weight to them. Only my body weight, hence the big bench press is probably a better option. All right, fair. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I don't know if people have to set them to auto renew or not. So I think if you don't set it to auto renew, they don't automatically renew. Thoughts on the Bitcoin crash? Who, but what, deep block, flew, and flop, bleep, blue? Blaze, I don't put that in plain English. I know what Bitcoin is. I do. I have a Bitcoin wallet, but I'm gonna need you to put this into plain English. I feel like I judge people based on what I see. All right, fair time, right? But in this case, we saw what they just did. But definitely, someone being too nice is a red flag for me. As someone who was abused as a child, that's a big red flag. Someone goes out of their way to be nice. Someone goes out of their way to just talk, show how much they love children. Yeah, that's a big red flag. Just saying. So, Bitcoin worked from once. So, yeah. Well, I don't have thoughts on it because I'm not aware of how that works, Blaze. So my thoughts on that are non-existent. And I'm not going to go further into it because I'm going to sound like a blithering idiot. Well, what she? Why are you? Hey, Tyrone, I don't understand what you mean, other women, and what do you mean by she? There is no she. So you mean how much stronger was he compared to the women? Well, he took first place. Now, it was only a small margin over the winner, but keep in mind, this person's been doing strongman 1 year. They might not have even been training hard that long. And they inched out the world's strongest woman who's dedicated over a decade of her life to competing in this endeavor. I mean, this was like their third competition ever, walked in and beat her by a point as a newcomer who might not have even been training, lifting weights for 10 years, as far as we know. Do you think Trent actually turns men gay, or are they in the closet the whole time? They were in the closet the whole time, dude. No, Trent can't actually make you gay. Trent can ramp your sex drive up. Like, I suppose if someone has tendencies towards that, trend might make them trisexual. They might be horny enough to just try anything at that point. Men, women, animals, trees, grapefruits, anything with a hole probably. I mean, obviously pretty strong. But this person is 6'6", 400 pounds. Well, we don't know how long they trained. They started competing a year ago, though. Yeah, I mean, the trend, you might bang a grapefruit like Kai Green did, maybe an apple pie like you from American Pie. Yeah. Jammie Booker is 6'6" and 400 pounds. Yeah. Dude is 6'6". So, Coach, do you have a problem with swapping the overhead press to pull day and putting laterals on push day on the push-pull legs? I don't know, man. I feel like why are you doing a push-pull legs if you're just going to do shoulders every day? You defeated all the mental benefits of splitting stuff up. At that point, you might as well just full body it or something. Because now you're taking a push-pull legs. You're like, let's throw an overhead press on the push day or on the pull day. And laterals on a push. So, you're just making it a legs and 2 upper body days. You basically made it upper, lower at this point. Right. I feel healthier doing full body. I enjoy my full body again. It's coming along really well. Now that I've titrated volumes and realized I need to just stop overtraining. Notice, though, now that I've stopped overtraining, how much stronger my arms are getting. Since I'm just going to do 1 set of curls, even hammer curls, walk away. I'm like PRing my hammer curls. I'm PRing pull-ups. Like, I'm only going to do just a single set for triceps and walk away. I'm PRing tricep extensions. Like these aren't even small PRs. I'm literally taking my 12 rep max from a few months ago and I hit 20 reps with it today. You think you'll run again in 2016? Yeah, I think so. Pause squats are superior for hypertrophy compared to stretch. I don't know that they are. I've never coached any trans athletes. No. 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 I don't actually know any trans people to my knowledge. What are your thoughts on full body, one set to failure 3 times a week? You might need more than one exercise, though, for some movements, for some body parts. Hey, Blaze. Well, think in terms of biomechanics. Why are pause bench better than bouncing? Well, think about it for a minute. When you squat and you have a stretch reflex out of the bottom, what are you stretching against? Your quad. With the bench press, you have the ability to bounce it off your chest and de-emphasize the pecs. Does that make sense? It's because you can hit an object. No. You're still going to stretch out of the quad, though. No, you're not going to ever. You're probably not to the same degree. Blaze, really think it through. They're not comparable. Right? They're not comparable. Now, can you still get the same pec recruitment on a touch and go on the bench? Yes, but you have to really control. Right? You have to control very soft touch. That will give you the same effect. It's mainly you have to avoid bouncing the bar to get the full chest benefit. Yeah, I think it's bodybuilder Phil Hernan. But I mean, these guys, he's also on huge amounts of drugs. So it's like we can't really extrapolate what he's doing. So, whereas in a stretch reflex on a squat, your quads are doing the full stretch. Right? Your quads are doing the work. And I think in the middle of all this, though, this stuff going on, I think I'm going to identify as a triceratops, right? Because even though I wasn't born a biological triceratops, if I identify as a triceratops, I can be a tranceratops. And anyone who doesn't use my pronouns is a racist bigot who needs to be canceled. Because I feel deep in my soul that I am a triceratops with a horn and everything. Right? Like, who are you to deny my reality? Like, in my heart and soul, I'm a triceratops. I was just born in the wrong body in the wrong time. My soul is that of a triceratops. But, well, I've changed it. I was an Apache attack helicopter, but I've changed it. Tyrone, in this case, we can absolutely judge something that we can biologically measure. It's a delusion. It is a mental illness. This is absolutely a mental illness. Hey, Blaze, I'm not going to prescribe. Like, I feel like you're being too rigid with this questions. These are viable things, but when you're going to say thoughts on it, well, it can be workable, sure. Just, you don't need to be this rigid as this is exactly, I'm going to do always this number. You don't have to be that rigid with it. is my thought. You need to look at your total recoverable volume, what you're doing, recovery. Always to think about the numbers of sets. Have you gotten stronger on some of your lifts out in your late 40s compared to your late 30s? Yeah, compared to my late 30s, I'm stronger on multiple lifts. Absolutely. Right. I mean, I've hit in my 40s. Now my squat is down for my heaviest body weight, but benching, definitely benching and deadlift, weighted pull-ups are all stronger than my late 30s. Sure, there's nuances, but some stuff is objectively a delusion and a mental illness. So for someone to take something like biological gender and to just decide that they're in the wrong body, yeah, that's no, there's no nuance. Right. Yeah. There's no nuance. This is just a straight delusion. It is delusional as you deciding that you're a dolphin. It's a fantasy. Okay. It's a weird kink or fetish at that point, maybe that you, but if you really believe that you're a dolphin born in a human body, then that's called a delusion. And we're playing a game of the emperor's new clothing. And it's all being done in the name of basically destroying social norms in society. It's being done to weaken society. Right. It's cool that progress can keep going and going, coach. I'm 31, so got it. And yeah, Matt, it's not saying it's easy though. Like the recovery curve is different. The being sober helped. Like I know for a fact, if I had not stopped drinking, no, I wouldn't be at this strength because I got stronger when I sobered up, for example. But I was also drinking in those late 30s. I was a drinker then, right? So that was, I believe that was a factor because I started PRing like within 6 months of sobering up. Like I saw an improvement on stuff like my deadlift. Like during my whole 30s and 40s, I never hit a 600 deadlift while I was drinking. I did not hit a 600 plus until I stopped drinking alcohol completely. Right. And that's an example. I never benched over like 330 while drinking. Are you on doctor prescribed? Of course I'm on doctor prescribed TRT. Are you asking me if I break the law? I would never, ever, ever, ever break the law for any reason, officer. I am a law-abiding citizen, and any TRT that I am given is 100% prescribed by a medical doctor, and it is legal. I am a law-abiding citizen. Let me repeat, I do not break the law ever for any reason, officer. That is my official public statement. Officer, Your Honor, let me reiterate. I would never, ever, ever use any form of controlled substance outside of the care of a medical doctor, 100% legal. Yet, that is my story, and I'm sticking to it. We follow the law. That's the problem with people's questions on these topics. I never had an alcohol issue. I just lost the taste for it and stopped. Yeah, fair. Nothing wrong with that. Better to never start. Jason, I feel very lazy every day. Is it just human nature? No, man, you need to fix your habits. Work on it. There's some fatigue management, maybe some depression, maybe some other stuff happening. No, he's probably not an undercover cop, Tyrone, but I don't think people think this through. Yes, police reports have been filed by haters in the past over things I said in videos. Just an FYI. Yes, people have filed police reports to the local police before. So, haters from the internet. So, I would only use medically prescribed substances like that. Can squatting replace the 10K steps a day requirement? No. There are different energy systems, different activity. What's going on, Giovanni? What'd it do? He says he's smoking weed, man. What do you think he's smoking, Tyrone? He's got Blaze Indo. And you ask him, what are you smoking, man? He's like, you must have been high. Ding, ding. You must have been so high. All right, you guys know that song? Anybody here who does not know the Tool song, The Pot? I don't care what genre of music you listen to. Of course, Eternal, yes, I'm on TRT, dude. Yeah. Yep. I'm on a replacement dose of test sit prescribed by my doctor. That's a great song, actually. Tool is just as a band. As a musician myself, Tool is just very impressive. Right? In terms of both technical ability and just creativity. Right? The lyricism and stuff. Just the ability for them to flow, the technical aspect, and just all the metaphors, even in his lyrics, sometimes they can get really, really deep with Maynard stuff. Now, in terms of bands, absolutely musical genius. And the thing with a band like Tour, that song, that's the sort of song that anyone, no matter what genre of music you listen to and like, that song is impressive. Like, that's one of those songs that even if you only like rap or hip hop, you'll still be like, oh, wow, this is good. If you only like metal, like, oh, wow, this is good. Like, you'll like it. Hold on, I'll find it. For anyone not understanding what Coach is saying here. I'm going to link it. There you go. I saw Miles Kennedy solo earlier this year and was blown away. I don't know if you've known him. A great voice. No, I don't know him specifically. People who need to calculate their maximum Thanksgiving are mentally ill is just one, unless they have an event coming. If they have an event coming, it makes sense, but otherwise, yeah, I would agree. The guilty pleasure song that you like, Madonna, Hung Up. I don't strike anyone as a Madonna type. I like Madonna, and I think Hung Up is a phenomenal song. There you go. Guilty pleasure song. Right? Because I don't think I strike anybody as a Madonna fan, but it's a good song, man. I can give you another one. Definitely guilty pleasure. What's the flat booty white girl? What's her name? Taylor Swift, right? The Shake It Off. Totally super catchy song. Super catchy. It's not a bad one, Coach. I was in high school when that one came out, right? So there you go. You want a guilty pleasure. Taylor Swift, the Shake It Off. It's catchy as hell. Not gonna lie. Like Rack City. Doom, doom, doom. Rack City, bitch. Rack City. Doom. Have you seen The Deer Hunter? Yes, I've seen The Deer Hunter. Madonna Lee. Doom, doom, right? Of course, we know Rack City. All right, guys, I might be winding this down here shortly, though. Guess we're not going to get super chat. We're not getting super chats anymore. Giovanni said, did squats today. Keen to end leg workout with some. There you go, man. Go push your sled, bro. I'm gonna do maybe some sled tomorrow. I did squats today. I did squats and but I do full body, so everything gets trained. Every day is leg day. Who's a better actor, Brando? I don't know. The Rack City I made was Glock City. I'm not going to do it because it's got a profanity in it, and I got to watch that these days. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wind this down. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a bicep shot. But there we go. Oh, Mount biceps in the Facebook. Yep. I don't have I haven't learned Mr. Garrison's voice. No. All right. But I'm about to roll out of here. So I love you guys. I'll catch you tomorrow. We're out.